What if I told you that the cure for your stress, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion isn't doing more, but surrendering to the healing warmth of a hot spring bath? What if the relief you're so desperately seeking is bubbling away right there, in that warm, all-encompassing silence? Thermal baths have been used for centuries as physical healing rituals, but what few know is that these waters also contain a powerful remedy for mental health. It's not just about relaxing, we're talking about real and profound effects on your brain, emotions, and psychological balance. But how exactly does it work? And what does science say about it? Imagine immersing yourself in warm water while your body relaxes and your mind, almost without realizing it, enters a state of peace. What appears to be a spa experience is actually a therapeutic intervention with much more important implications. Throughout this video, we'll reveal the lesser-known benefits of hot springs for your mental health, and I guarantee you'll want to pack your towel by the end. From reducing cortisol levels to strengthening your emotions, you'll understand why experts are beginning to recommend these waters as a complementary tool for taking care of your mind. Stick around, because this could completely change the way you understand well-being. Brief history of the use of hot spring waters. Since ancient times, civilizations such as the Romans, Japanese, and Greeks found in thermal baths something more than simple hygiene. They were sacred places for the body and soul. The interesting thing is that, although they didn't know it, their intuition was aligned with what modern neuroscience confirms today. First hidden benefit: stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system. The first hidden benefit of hot spring baths for mental health is the stimulation of the parasympathetic nervous system, also known as the rest and digest mode. When you immerse yourself in warm water, your body receives a safety signal. This causes a decrease in heart rate, deep muscle relaxation, and a general state of tranquility. In other words, your brain understands that you are not in danger and begins to release tension. This parasympathetic activation reduces the constant state of alert that many people are subjected to today due to chronic stress. Studies have shown that simply being in hot water for more than 20 minutes can significantly decrease levels of norepinephrine, a hormone linked to acute stress. In addition, decreased activity has been observed in the amygdala, the center of fear and anxiety. And it's not just what water does to your body, but what your surroundings stop doing to you. The silence, the temperature, the lack of electronic devices, all create a sensory disconnect that, neurologically, helps lower the volume of the mental noise we carry around. In a hyper-digitalized and accelerated world, this first benefit may be the modern equivalent of finding a calming cave. A physiological break that your brain appreciates more than you'd imagine. And we're just getting started. Second hidden benefit: increased serotonin and emotional well-being. Scientific studies that support it. Let's now move on to the second hidden benefit, the natural increase in serotonin, also known as the happiness hormone. This neurotransmitter is directly related to mood, motivation, and overall well-being. Several studies have shown that regular exposure to heat, such as that from hot springs, can stimulate the production of serotonin in the brain. A study published in the Journal of Affective Disorders found that deep body heat therapies have effects similar to those of certain antidepressants, especially in people with mild to moderate depression. The best part? No typical drug side effects or invasive medical intervention. This increase in serotonin is not only caused by the heat itself, but also by the multisensory experience. The skin perceives the water, the muscles relax, and the brain interprets this combination of stimuli as a signal of pleasure and safety. This generates a neurochemical change that can last for hours after the bath, improving the emotional state in a sustained manner. In addition, serotonin influences sleep quality, appetite, concentration, and even the processing of emotions. So a simple thermal bath could have a positive domino effect on several key areas of your mental health. And the best part, no prescription or specialized equipment is required, just warm water and mindful presence. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time you had an hour without interruptions, without screens, without external noise, just feeling your body at peace? Thermal baths offer precisely that space, where the brain can reset and return to its natural chemical balance. This hidden benefit works from the inside out. You're not escaping your emotions, you're rebuilding the biological foundations that sustain your emotional well-being. Third hidden benefit: reduction of cortisol and anxiety, impact on mild disorders. The third hidden benefit of hot spring baths for mental health is their ability to reduce levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol is useful in dangerous situations, but when it remains elevated for too long, it affects sleep, memory, the immune system, and, of course, emotional balance. Recent studies have shown that spending just 30 minutes in hot springs can significantly reduce blood cortisol levels. This reduction not only has an immediate relaxing effect, but also helps reduce symptoms associated with disorders such as generalized anxiety or mild post-traumatic stress, providing a sense of emotional control that is often lost in modern life. In addition, the heat induces an effect similar to that of gentle physical exercise, releasing endorphins that improve mood. It's like doing yoga for the nervous system without having to move. The sensation of floating or being immersed in warm water creates a state of mental and physical weightlessness that allows you to disconnect from the constant bombardment of stimuli from the outside world, reducing accumulated mental fatigue. The most interesting thing is that this effect isn't just felt at the moment. Some people report an improvement in their mood, mental clarity, and sleep quality for several days after enjoying a thermal bath. Even in patients with mild emotional disorders, improvements in well-being have been observed after repeated baths for weeks. We're not talking about a magic bullet, but rather a natural tool that the body recognizes and appreciates. In times when everything seems urgent, giving yourself a moment of calm can be an act of rebellion. A thermal bath is more than a luxury, it's an investment in your emotional balance. And that, today more than ever, is invaluable. Fourth hidden benefit: body-mind connection and mindfulness, therapeutic effect of the natural environment. The fourth hidden benefit of hot spring baths for mental health is the mind-body connection generated by the surroundings and the state of mindfulness induced by the hot water. We live constantly in our minds, worries, notifications, to-do lists. But in a thermal bath, the body takes control. You're present. You're feeling. You're there, without distractions. This bodily presence activates neural networks associated with mindfulness, similar to those activated during meditation. The warmth, the sound of the water, the slowly rising steam, and the stillness of the atmosphere invite introspection and reconnection with yourself. It is a complete sensory experience, where the mind slows down and the body becomes an anchor. The environment also plays a crucial role. Many hot springs are in close contact with nature: mountains, forests, rivers, open skies. The combination of warm water and natural landscape enhances the feeling of calm and security. Studies have shown that exposure to natural environments reduces mental rumination and improves overall mood. If we add to that the physical effect of water, we have a perfect formula for recharging mental and emotional energies. This type of experience can be especially helpful for people who suffer from emotional disconnection or feel like they're living on autopilot. The thermal bath, being an immersive experience, helps break that cycle of automatism and return to the present moment. It's a touch therapy, where your body reminds you that you're still here, that you're alive, and that your well-being isn't on the screen, but in what you can feel with your skin. In a world where everything is measured, planned, and accelerated, getting back in touch with simplicity can be a radical form of healing. Don't underestimate the power of the basics: water, warmth, and silence. Sometimes, that's where true emotional transformation begins. Now you know, thermal baths not only relax your muscles, they also regenerate your mind. They stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, increase serotonin levels, reduce cortisol levels, and reconnect you with yourself through mindfulness and the natural environment. What seemed like a simple wellness experience turns out to be a profound, accessible, and natural therapeutic tool. In a world where mental health is increasingly affected by the hectic pace of modern life, having a space where the mind can rest, disconnect, and heal is an invaluable gift. We may not be able to change everything that stresses us out, but we can create conscious breaks that activate our body and mind's natural recovery mechanisms. Hot springs are one of those sacred spaces where all of this happens effortlessly. So the next time you feel like everything's overwhelming, remember this: maybe you don't need more strength or more productivity. Maybe what you need is warmth, silence, and water. If this video gave you peace of mind, it wasn't a luxury. It was a necessity you may have been ignoring. Subscribe, like, and share with someone who also needs to be reminded of the essentials. Peace of mind isn't found, it's chosen. See you in the next video. And until then, don't forget, your mind isn't a machine. It's your refuge. Protect it.